it don't get no better than consciousness info. Sonetta TV 7. You keep it hot 24/7. You got that Black Force 102. Sonetta TV 2. Yeah.
You are now inside Sonetta Studios, the House of Consciousness production. Black news presentation.
Yeah. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sonetta TV House of Consciousness production. We will be bringing in our sister. Yeah, we will be bringing in the sister. She's the champion over there on DMG channel. And she's been cracking sisters' heads. And so she will break down. She will go into breakdown intelligent design versus evolution. So I'm interested in hearing that. All right. So we're waiting on her. So yeah, I'm waiting on the sister to clock in. She'll be in any minute now. Any minute now, she'll be signing right in. Okay, here we go. Let's start the show. All right. Yeah. All right. Peace, my sister. Can you cam up, please? Can you turn on your camera? All right, y'all. We waiting on the sister. She probably still getting it together. Getting her stuff together. So let's be patient. We're going to have a nice, powerful build with Sister Doctah. Doctah, too sweet. What's up? How you doing? Oh, she's in another one. This one is working. Hey, I hear you. Me? Yes, I hear you. How you doing?
I'm good. Peace. And sorry for the delay. I was having some technical issues. I'm gonna turn my camera on in just a second. Yeah. I'm actually driving. That's why let me park real quick. Okay. Hold on. One second. But I'm definitely about to be on camera.
Are you gonna be able to show your slides on your phone?
Oh, you wanted me to show my slides and stuff?
Yeah, we're dealing with intelligent design and the stuff that you was debating on.
Yeah, but I thought this was a review. I didn't know. Like you didn't tell me that I needed to do that because I don't have that.
Okay, all right, no problem. So
I might could pull it up on my tablet.
But you
give me a second. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can pull it up on my tablet. I guess while I'm trying to do that, did you introduce me already? I don't know because I was trying to get to where I was going.
But guess what? I'm gonna let you introduce yourself as well. I introduced you. Now, correct me if I'm right or wrong. I introduced you as the champion that be over there on the channel as the you just had a debate last week. You went up against the sister, and y'all was talking about intelligent design versus evolution. Of course, you're the side of evolution.
I am because I'm a scientist. So yes, I gotta be. All right.
That's why I had to call my brother and say, "Yo, we got to get the sister over here." A nice review.
You said, yeah, so I didn't know that I needed to have my stuff because I know this what you do, so I figured you would have it to do clips or whatever the case may be. So I wasn't prepared for that.
Okay. So this ain't going hopefully this won't be the last interview. So we can get
No,
ready.
yeah.
You know?
No, I'm happy to be here again for the people out there. Thank you for joining in. I am the good doctor, aka Dr. Two Sweets. I am the champ over at Paradigm Shift TV 314, social media champion. I'm 4-0 right now. And Naphtali was the latest one, intelligent design versus evolution. And apparently it was a big topic. So here we are.
Oh, so she was the latest one to get that glove punch, huh?
That's right. That jab, cross.
Right.
So I'm still trying to see if I could pull up the slides on my tablet. I would have to join on another
yeah
thing. But did you have questions for me, or was like what I wanted to know is what was it that made you want to bring me on your show to discuss the topic in the first place? Like, was there specific reason or?
Yeah. Soon as I seen the topic, I just automatically said, "Oh man, I got to get the sister over here." All right, she's on her phone, y'all, so she's going in and out. So she'll be back in. She'll be back in. Let's give it some time. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what just happened. What was you saying though? As soon as you saw the topic?
Yeah, as soon as I seen the topic, I said, let me watch a little bit of it, you know, and I watched a little bit and I seen you going in. Of course, I seen the other sister trying her best, doing her best to do it. Poor sister, you know, talking
That's
about
a good way to put it.
600 years, the earth and all this crazy nonsense. It ain't been in existence over that. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I start off by just asking you a couple of questions. What is the definition of intelligent design? What does that mean?
It's really just creationism. It's saying that the world around you was created, that there's intelligent design that does in fact have an intelligent cause, but it's just creationism. It's age-old religious idealisms because people don't understand certain things and they'll do the God of the gaps. Like, well, we don't know what it is, so it got to be God, right? And that's what creationism and intelligent design really is.
All right, so the intelligent supposed to be God. God consciousness?
Right.
Okay.
So the sister Naphtali, I believe, is a Hebrew Israelite, and you know they subscribe to the Bible. They believe that Yeshua is the savior and God is that intelligent designer. And I just have to show her that might not be true.
Okay. Are humans monkeys? And I don't want you to just brush through them. I want you to go through, take your time, and deal with that. Are humans monkeys?
So the short answer to that is absolutely not. So this is the thing. People get evolution misconstrued. Darwin never said that humans are monkeys. What Darwin said is that humans and apes share an ape-like ancestor, meaning that in the distant past, through evolution, we once had a common ancestor, but we branched off into separate directions. So humans on one side, apes, chimpanzees, etc. on the other side. So no, we are not monkeys.
Okay, and I'm quite sure that's what we keep explaining over and over again. But the minute we talk about evolution, it's like the people don't get it. It's like, what part are you hearing? What part are you not hearing? Because we constantly telling you we are not saying we come from monkeys, man. That's not what we're saying. We talking about the common ancestor theory. Go ahead, sis.
And it's the same for me because I think what it is a lack of understanding of how the evolution actually works. So they oversimplify it. They think that a monkey is the only form of primate. So when you tell them like, yeah, humans are primates too. Oh, you said we're monkeys. No, a monkey is a primate. A human is a primate. We are not monkeys. So I get your frustration. I do. I understand it.
Right. Let's
So
go back.
then what do we do? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to intelligent design.
Yes.
Can you explain abiogenesis and tell us why it is or is not intelligent design? Let's go there.
Mm-hmm. So abiogenesis is the idea that life can come from non-life. So how evolution teaches that we started as a single cell organism, then developed into a human, that's considered abiogenesis. But what I brought to the sister and what probably tripped her up is that the Bible teaches that God created humans out of the dirt of the earth, right? Technically that's abiogenesis because dirt is not a living entity. So for people who don't understand it, it's the idea that life, like humans as we see it, can come from non-life, which is a very valid scientific theory. And I pointed out panspermia. So the theory about panspermia is that life came from outside of Earth, like maybe a meteor or a comet or something hit Earth and it had organic life. And that's how life started. So there's a few theories, but what we don't do in science is says, oh, I don't know the answer, so I'm just going to say whatever I want to say. That we don't get to do that.
Can you explain for those who don't know? Because I heard the sister say something crazy. And she said,
What'd she say?
You can't get life from something that's nothing. She said you can't get life from nothing. And that what they are calling nothing is something. They don't understand it is something. You see?
That is a good point.
I agree. You can't get life from nothing like this here, but the nothing that you calling nothing is really something, and you don't know what it is. A lot of us, even the science, don't know what it is yet. They working on it, but we know it's something that's it. You see what I'm saying?
And the sister talked about this primordial ooze that we learned about in school, right? Mm-hmm. To her, that's nothing. But if it's organic matter, if it's organic life, even if it's bacteria, even if it's just a virus, that is technically life. So again, it goes back to having that basic understanding of biology, biochemistry, physiology, all of these things. And what happens with a lot of religious people is they stop learning. They figure, oh, I got it all figured out. God is the answer. I don't need to really learn anything else because this is it. And that's hindering us as a people. We gotta keep learning. It's never ending.
Right. Beautiful. According to, I'm gonna go back to the monkey thing right quick. According to science, humans and monkeys have a common ancestor. What is the name of the last common ancestor shared by humans and monkeys? And around when did the two diverge from it? Yeah, diverge from it.
So I don't have the specific answer, but here's another thing that people misunderstand. Evolution is not linear. It's not linear. It's like a tree. So one branch could branch off into any number of branches, and those branches could branch off into, So when you're asking what was the specific last common ancestor, you're asking for a specific thing that we don't have yet. All we have are the transitional fossils from the common ancestor, which shows us a progression from one fossil to the next. But the actual common ancestor, I don't have a specific answer for that.
And you know what? You're right. That's because no one have that answer yet. They didn't come out with that answer. So yes, you are right on that. Why don't humans have tails like monkeys? And when did we lose our tails according to science? Did the tails drop off in the womb, or like what happened? What happened?
So here's the thing. We all know, do we all know what a coccyx is? A coccyx?
A coccyx?
Yeah, COCCYX, coccyx.
What
if you look if you look at the human pelvis, it's that tailbone that we call it a tailbone, but the scientific term is a coccyx. That is a vestigial tail, meaning this is the evidence that we have the chemistry and the DNA to have a tail. It just fell off at some point in evolution. Again, when exactly that happened, my specific field of study is not this, right? I just happen to know a lot about it, but I'm sure we could look it up at some point. If my stuff wasn't working the way that I needed to, I could probably pull it up. But the coccyx is that vestigial bone that shows us that we used to have a tail.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if you know this yet, but you know the HOK. You know we are the fathers of debates. All debate platforms rise up from the House of Consciousness. I don't know if you know that, but I'm quite sure DMG will tell you that himself. So,
well, let me tell you this,
DMG.
Definitely shout out to my big brother DMG, Paradigm Shift TV 314, the Craig Law Firm, and everybody, the Bar Reloaded. But here's the thing: me and DMG had that conversation. So when I was sharing that I was gonna go on with you today, a couple people hit me back like, "Yo, I don't even rock with Sonetta like that, right?"
They scared.
Listen. I don't know. I don't know. But listen,
they don't even know me. They scared. They don't know me.
What I had to tell
environment to be in right here.
What I had to tell them is that, listen, whether you rock with Sonetta or not, we have to give this brother credit, because a lot of us would not even have right knowledge if not for your channel and your debates and your guest host. You feel me? So I just have to let people know that I give credit where credit is due. You feel me? I started following you a long time ago. I ain't gonna lie, I stopped following you after, a time. We'll talk about that later. But you feel me? I still give you credit where it's due. Yeah.
The next time I ever have another conversation, watch this. If you ask the brother, what have you done to you personally? I bet you he wouldn't be able to tell you. He wouldn't be able to tell you. He'd be like, so I heard, it's all the hearsay. You know how hating YouTube can be. You know,
we know how people can be, and it could have been something you said, because I get the same. So listen, I came in the Paradigm Shift TV 314. I had my first debate in like October, right? So a lot of people were upset because I'm knocking people out coming through. You feel me? I'm winning my debates, and I'm a woman, so it's like a double homicide. You feel me? You feel me? But I'm here to just show everyone that intelligence is not, it doesn't depend on your biology. You feel me? Like, if I have information to share with you, why would it not be as valuable as if you had information to share with me? So that's what I'm here to show. I'm tough. I can hang with the dudes. I can do anything. You feel me? So I'm here.
The male debate champion over here is our brother Osaze, brother Jabari. He is considered to be the Floyd Mayweather of the House of Consciousness, because he's knocking everybody out. I'm talking about from
I can dig it.
Top Dog all the way from Captain to Zoriak. I'm talking about the top dogs. That's why this is the top environment. And then we have a sister, my queen over here, Nepal. Yes, Nepal, who is considered the champion of the HOK over here. And a lot of Hebrew men, they come up with the excuses of, she's a woman, I don't want to debate her. It ain't about being a woman, it's about the information. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The Israelites, they don't want to get beat by a woman, because all the brothers will be bragging about that. And they don't want to look dumb. But to them, and they understand, and they feel that no women can beat them. Their intelligence is not superior than the men. That's their thinking. You know what I'm saying?
See, the whole thing is on my side with Paradigm Shift, I welcome any debates. I need a challenge. I debated a brother who is a Hebrew Israelite about whether the education system has failed us as a people. I was on the side of no, it hasn't failed us, and he was on the other side, right? So once I won, because that's what I do, he disappeared for a while, because it's that whole thing about, I lost to a woman. And I'm like, listen, I had information to share. My information was more valid and I presented it better. That's all that should matter. It doesn't matter what's between my legs. Let's build together. Like, but some men can't do that, I guess.
How you won that debate, because I would probably take the side that I got to see where you coming from and how you pull that off, because I would take the side that, hell yeah, the information system has failed us.
The education system. Well, here's why I won. I'm gonna tell you why I won.
Unless you saying we failed ourselves and not going after the information and we accepted what they gave us. Now, if you coming from that perspective, I could rock with you on that.
So, and this is why I won, because I made sure that everybody understood that the education system is a tool like anything else, right? It's on you, on how you use that tool. Like you said, they can teach you so much in school, but are you going to go and fact check? Are you going to go and do further research? Are you going to do comparative analysis? Are you going to go check other sources? You understand? So, I mean, I can see how somebody says it failed us, but at the end of the day, it didn't fail me. I'm still getting degrees and it's benefiting me very well. It's the ones who chose or felt like they couldn't succeed in it, I guess, who feel like, oh, it was a waste of time. Nah, I don't think so.
Why is the evolutionary process so long in between noticeably change in organism and species?
Wait, say that question one more time. I don't think I understand. Say it.
Why is the evolutionary process so long in between?
You know what? So I don't even know how to answer that, because for people who are creationists, they have this blockage of thinking that the earth is only so many years old, when we know it's much older than just a few thousand years old, right? So when someone is asking why is the process so long in between, you're talking about going from one species to another. It takes a long time to adapt. So there's an example of Bajau people near the Philippines who can dive like 60 meters without oxygen tanks, right? That's evolution in real time, but it probably took 100 years for them to develop that ability to do that, right? So what do they mean a long time? Are they talking about why does it take millions of years for one species to go to another? Or why does it take 100 or 200 years for people to develop the ability to dive 60 meters? What are we talking about here?
Right. But you can see the evolutionary process if you look. Let's look at 30 years ago, and we see how our children were. Our children are way smarter now than they was 30 years ago. What do I mean? I'm talking about in technology, all of that stuff right there. Like when you are 5 and 3 years old, and you look at the 5 and 3 years old today, way smarter than it was back then. And I don't know if you see that or not.
I do in a sense, but at the end of the day, think about it. That generation 30 years ago knew how to do things that this generation cannot do. We were more self-sufficient. You feel me? I'm an 80s baby, right? So we was latchkey kids. We was basically raising ourselves. You understand? These kids now, it's a different generation to where like my generation tried to overcompensate for what we went through. So our kids they're softer. A lot of them can't they don't know how to be in social settings, like they getting bullied, and I know bullying is not new, but I just feel like the new generation is lacking in that toughness that we had growing up in the late 70s and 80s. You feel me? But smarter, I think they're only smarter because they have the technology now. If you would have gave us, the stuff that they have now, the tablets and stuff, we would have been just as smart. You understand? So I think it's the technology itself that is making it seem like they're smarter, but the generation now is still lacking in things that we had.
Okay.
So
is the taxonomic classification system of Carl Linnaeus, You know who that is? Carl Linnaeus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it.
Is it Linnaeus?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Carl Linnaeus.
Yeah, Linnaeus. Go ahead.
Right. Is the taxonomic classification system of Carl Linnaeus outdated now that we have made major advances in technology such as AI?
I wouldn't say so, only because taxonomy starts at the basic level. That's why if you look up an animal, it has like a Latin genus, because it starts with the most basic of that genus, right? And then it goes on from there. So I wouldn't say it's outdated. I just think that it could be updated with the new species that we've discovered since the whole theory of evolution came about. Like, I was just watching a documentary about the Mariana Trench, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are still discovering different species all the way down in that trench. So we should update it, but I don't think it's necessarily outdated.
Okay. Now, in your debate with the sister,
yeah,
did she tell you how old the Earth is?
She thinks the Earth is 6,000 years old.
Ain't that crazy?
It's very crazy to me.
Let me tell you why. Because a simple check with crocodiles, that's showing you those are millions of years old in itself.
Or iron, just the mineral iron is older. Like, it takes longer than 6,000 years for iron to develop. So if we have iron on Earth, we know right then and there that it's older than that. But it goes again to the whole creationism idea, because sometimes religion becomes a part of a person's identity, even when they're faced with obvious, objective truth that defeats their belief. It's like, it's part of my identity. I can't let it go. So I got to rock with it. I got to roll with the lie at this point. You understand? So I think that's what a lot of people do. Like, in their mind, they know for a fact this world is clearly older than 6,000 years old. But hey, if this is what the Bible tells me to say, then that's what I'm going to say, because my God. And I'm not even trying to like clown, but you feel me?
Crazy, because some your God. I mean, with common sense, you got to. I said, with common sense, you got to correct your God. Looking in the Bible, thinking that this earth is only 6,000 years, you got to correct that, sis. In reality time, come on now, we're part
and I wish I would have known to have my slides up, because it would have been great to go over a couple of things. I did have an article, because one thing about believers is they ask, well, how did everything begin? We don't know how everything began. So there's an article about nucleic acids, so for people who don't know, nucleic acids are basically the building blocks of everything, life, right? And they have a specific function, aka a code. So they're only programmed to do certain things. And I use programmed not in the sense of there's a programmer, but in the sense of like, for people to understand how these things work. So what they found was that these nucleic acids function in a certain way that is showing us that abiogenesis is possible, that you don't necessarily need a creator, that if a single cell organism functions in a certain way and that certain function begets or propagates life, you don't need a creator. You don't need a spark. It's already doing that. It's just going to take time for it to develop into something like humans. And a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's complex stuff. This stuff is not easy. Biochemistry, biology, astrophysics, paleontology, all these different fields of study, people forget that these are not things that you could just walk in the door and learn in 10 minutes and think that you're a professional or something like that. It takes time to understand these things. And a lot of people don't want to take that time to learn. And that's the problem.
The sister used to be over here a lot all the time. But what happened is, like I said earlier, this is the toughest environment, and a lot of people can't take it because it's so tough. It's like going to the Apollo at amateur net at the Apollo. You ever seen the Apollo? And
I sure have.
clap for you. But if you're, they're gonna let you know, Mason,
and the Sandman gonna come out and sweep your ass.
So she couldn't take it over here. She had the jet and she's gone, ghost. But it's all good, you know. Those who withstand the pressure, they here. They here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. When I was told that I was being invited, I mean, I was honored, number one, but number two, there were some people who were concerned, like, I don't know if they thought you was gonna try to ambush me, or like they thought I couldn't handle. Like, if you bring up people on the panel, like, listen, I'm not the social media champ on Paradigm Shift TV 314 because I fold under pressure. You feel me? So I was very welcome to this. I love the discussion. I hope that we continue to have more discussions like this, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to figure this out. We all trying to get to the answers.
What it is, Doctah, is that people make a lot of assumptions and they talk about they don't know, and they bring up a lot of rumors and just slander. And so when they hear it, they just go on with it without doing their own back research. You see? So we don't do that. I'm not over here to try to trap you. None of that.
Nah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, DMG.
Got more questions?
Believe me, DMG would not bring you over here if he didn't know how we rock. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it. That's my brother. I like, ever since being on that channel is really like one big family. You feel me? Like, that's how it feels for me. So yeah, I'm here, and again, I'm welcome to the discussion. I appreciate it.
Right. Thank you. And I'm honored for you to even accept the my invitation. So is evolution only limited to living organisms? And if so, please explain to us why or why not.
Is it only limited to living organisms?
Evolution.
So I would have to say no, because an example would be like the trees that we see. So one, we know that there was a point where we had quote unquote prehistoric trees that don't exist right now, but some of the trees that we see are the offshoots of those prehistoric trees. Like, I'm sure a pine tree used to be something else, but now it's a pine tree. You understand? So I would have to say yes, but that's a very good question.
Oh, okay. Let me see where I gotta go with this one. How did civilization approach matters of science and study of life before the scientific revolution?
That's another good question, because we was just talking about this the other day. So a lot of people like to bring up the fact that pretty much everybody was religious back in the day to some extent, right? And my whole thing is, of course they were, because there were a lot of unanswered questions. So it's easy to say, my God, this, my God, that. But like, for now, it's like we have science. We can figure things out. We don't need to be religious. You could choose to be, but at the end of the day, religion is not going to give you the answers that you're looking for. So did that answer the question? I'm sorry, because I started thinking about the last one again. What was the question one more time?
You go ahead. All right. I asked you, how did civilization approach matters, science and studies before the scientific revolution?
Yeah, so basically religiously. So there was what we call the occult now, right? So they had alchemy, they had metaphysics and stuff like that, where if you ask me, all that was just where science and religion came together. So in ancient civilizations, because they did not actually have a lot of the information that we have, there was no separation between spiritual and science. So, and a good example of that is we were talking about astronomy and astrology. At one time, that was just one science. It wasn't a separation. It was just people who were mapping the stars and trying to understand how that affected people on Earth, right? But once the scientific revolution came around, Now we need empirical evidence. Now we need to mathematically quantify this. Whereas before, that wasn't a necessity. It was just about, I want to say, belief. Really, it had a lot to do with belief.
What made you choose science to run with instead of religion? Are you a religious person? Let's just start there first.
I am not a religious person.
Were you ever a religious person?
So I grew up, in a Baptist household. Granddaddy was a pastor, grandmother evangelist, and like most of us. However, I was also raised in a household that taught me to ask questions, and it made me inquisitive. And so once I started asking questions about the Bible that people could not answer, I started looking into science. I can go to science and figure out why the sky is blue, why the grass is green, why my eyes are brown. You understand? I can't go to the Bible for that. It's just not there. So I became, I feel like I've always been a scientist because I've always been a nerd. I'm a bookworm, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think it was 2009 for me that I had my awakening, where I realized that religion, in most cases, is a sham. It's a total sham. It's meant to make us feel good. It's meant to give us hope. It's meant to comfort us and give us, some type of relief from the world around us. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, that's what it needs to remain. When you try to force it on other people, when you try to force it on legislation, when you try to force it in the schools, that's where it becomes a problem, because now you're putting your beliefs onto me, and I might not believe what you believe.
So agnostic or atheist, which one you choose?
So I had a show where I explained I don't like the word atheist because let's just say I've had some experiences that can't be explained by science. Let's put it like that, right?
Uh-huh.
So atheist is fine, but what I tell people is a better word to describe me is igtheist. IGTHEIST, igtheist. And what that means is that it's not even a matter of whether or not I believe in God. It's the fact that I don't think humans have the ability to even define what God is.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, that's right. I agree with you. Yeah.
So we can argue back and forth about who God is, what God is, and what we think God is. But at the end of the day, it's humans trying to define something that is not human or supposed to not be human, even though people give God these anthropomorphic, attributes.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So if I had to say between agnostic and atheist, definitely atheist.
You can ask 100 people in the room, and I guarantee you 90 of them will probably come up with something different.
Something different, like.
And they all read the same book, but they will all come up with something different on defining God and who is God and who named it, who gave it his name. And notice they always said, he said this, she said this, but God never speaks for himself. God never and tell you, yo, I am here. This is what I say. This is what I teach. This is me,
And it would be that simple. You understand? Like, if this is the creator of the universe, why do I need an intermediary? Why do I need someone to speak for me when I literally created all this stuff? I could put a thought in your head or whatever the case may be, but I'm with you on that. It's like people want us to believe in their God. It's like, okay, show me proof. I don't have enough proof. I'm a scientist. I need proof. I need evidence. I need data, something. Give me something. And it's just not there.
Will you please explain to our audience when the scientific revolution occurred and the importance of the modern scientific method?
So again, with these specific time frames, it started, I want to say, in the 1800s, right? That's when it got close to the Industrial Revolution. That's where we started to ask more questions, so to speak, right? And the importance of the scientific method is it's a process. So if I go and I do an experiment, right, and you don't believe me, you say, nah, I don't think that's really what happened. The scientific method allows you to go step by step and do every single thing that I did to see if you get the same results. If you do, then we know what you did was correct. If we don't, then we got to run some more tests and see what happened, because clearly what you didn't give everybody else the same results. So it's very important that you have a systematic way of testing things so that you can repeat it every single time in the same manner. It's like a conveyor belt at a factory. Everything has to do its job specifically in a certain way for the conveyor belt to work, right? It's the same thing with the scientific method.
Right. Is observable empirical evidence all that matters when we seek answers to when we have seek answers in truth? Is empirical evidence all have matter?
Yeah. I get what they're saying, and I pause for a second because observable is part of empirical. So empirical means that it's observable, testable, falsifiable, all of that. So like I just said, I should be able to, like, if you perform an experiment, you should be able to give me your format of how you did the experiment, and I should be able to repeat that exact same experiment and see if I get the exact same results. So in science, yes, absolutely. It has to be empirical. Otherwise, it's no longer science. Once you remove the empirical part, now you're into metaphysics and philosophy, which is a whole different ball game at that point.
Yeah. Have you ever yawned, and because you yawn, you see the next person yawn? Or you
Of course.
could somebody and you yawn, and this person over, and even on the phone, we could be talking and I start yawning.
You can hear it.
Yawning. And now, so how do you explain scientific phenomena that care not fully understand by science, such as the composition of dark matter and even the question of why we yawn?
Mm-hmm. So, okay, that's two different things we're talking about. So first, about the yawning. So my answer to that is humans learn by modeling. So we learn by watching what other people do. So our brain is literally built to look at something and say, oh, this is how you do that. So for me, and if my understanding is correct, when we see other people yawn, the reason we can't help it is because our brain is wired to model what other humans do. And I think yawning is about like more oxygen getting to your brain, something like that. So I think it's just a biological response to seeing.
Science has never figured that out yet, though, right? And first, before you go on, shout out to my man, the infamous DMG in the building. Shout out to infamous
what's DMG. Up, big brother?
All right. Yeah, so scientists have not figured that out yet. Why?
Right.
The next one may yawn and stuff like that.
Right.
So on and so forth.
Right. So that's why I said for me, this because part of my studies is also neurobiology, figuring out how our brain works in connection to our body. So for me, it makes sense that because humans learn by modeling, that yawning is one of those things that we picked up just in the natural biological process.
Okay. Are you ready for questions?
Well, shit, we at question 10 now. I mean, let's go.
All right. I want to open up the platform. Remember, I always tell y'all to do what? I want to see if y'all know. What I always tell y'all when I open up the platform?
Use your manners. Oh, no.
Respect my guests in the building. You can ask questions, but do it respectfully.
Thank you.
We try not to silence you, but we want you to ask your question, but be respectful in it. You know?
Yeah. Please.
There's the link right there. I dropped the link for those who are like, if you come on in. If you're religious, come on in. If you're a scientist, come on in and ask your question.
Big up to DMG and the law firm, the Craig Law Firm, Paradigm Shift TV 314. again, thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate you.
Yes. Wow, this is good. You are truly a scientist. I see you studying that, you know.
I mean, I really am who I say I am, and I think that's another thing that intimidates people. With me coming in this debate league, is I ain't come with the fluff. I ain't come to, you know, be whatever. I came to share, exchange knowledge, and learn. I hope I learn. I ain't really learned too much yet because I'm doing all the teaching. But you feel me? Like that's why I'm here.